I used to be a sad human being. I was an alcoholic working at T-Mobile with zero prospects and nothing promising going on in my life. The idea of getting my life together had never even crossed my mind. My days consisted of training for boxing, which I would schedule around my drinking, making $10 an hour selling phones, and drinking the nights, and most days, away. I was 27 years old and I was a loser. Had I continued on the same path, I'd probably be dead or in jail by now, but I'm not. Today I'm sober, a military veteran, a college graduate, and an author. I'm in a relationship that brings me happiness. I make decent money. And my book about this journey and everything I learned from it, Hard Lessons from the Hurt Business, Boxing, and the Art of Life, will be released this August. You can download the first chapter for free at the link in the pinned comment. I'm making this video because I know what works and what doesn't. It's easy to browse through endless videos about changing your life and getting your shit together, but unless you take action on what really matters, you're not going to get the results you want. If you're ready to experience real change and real transformation, then keep watching. Now, first thing first, you have to be honest with yourself. The first step in getting your life together is also the most painful. You have to admit your life is a mess. We all want to believe that we have things under control and that we're just going through a temporary rough patch. Well, it's not a rough patch. It's the whole damn road. You know that your life is messed up when you repeatedly find yourself in the same stupid ass situations. The first time, you're just unlucky. The second time, you're stupid for not learning your lesson the first time. The third time, that's when you realize you need to address the underlying issues. When I kept getting surprised by bills and I needed to borrow money, I thought I was just unlucky at first. When I kept getting into stupid drunken fights, I thought people were just too sensitive. To outsiders, it was obvious that I had some serious problems that I needed to take care of. This is equally obvious to me looking back now, but for the longest time, I refused to admit this to myself. That's why I wasn't making progress in my life. Before I could fix myself, I had to admit to myself that I had a problem in the first place, which wasn't easy. No one likes thinking they're in the wrong, but in order to make change, you're going to have to break yourself down before you can rebuild yourself into something stronger. Write down 3 to 5 areas in your life that are causing your problems, and it's probably causing most of your problems. Is it your lack of punctuality or discipline? Is it a poor sleep schedule or diet? Get brutally honest with yourself, and even take a few minutes to reflect on this if you can't think of anything right away, because there's definitely something. When you're ready for the next step, then you have to go and grow up and take responsibility. You are responsible for your life. It doesn't matter where you were born, what your parents did, your race, your gender, or how much of an asshole your teacher was. You got to look in the mirror and accept that you are where you are in life today because of what you've done. Every action, choice, misstep, and failed project has led you to this exact point in your life. If you really want to get your life in order, you have to stop making excuses. It doesn't matter if you think you're unlucky or dealt a bad hand in life. You have to step up and take responsibility for where you are right now. I spent a lot of time angry at my mom for having me and my sister when she was poor and living in the projects. I felt like this set me back in life. I blamed all my problems on my mother's life decisions and growing up in a shitty neighborhood. While growing up that way didn't help, it also didn't rob me of my ability to make adult decisions. Blaming my problems on my childhood didn't make my adulthood any better. It only served as a crutch to keep me from doing the hard work of becoming respectable, productive, and creating a life I could be proud of. Personal responsibility is hard, and it takes practice, but you can't take control of your life unless you claim full ownership of it. Take inventory of your problems and failures. See how you made choices that allowed each of them to happen. And then start working towards a strong mindset that allows you to thrive. Are you making any excuses in your life and pinning your problems on them instead of taking responsibility right now? A bad upbringing, unfortunate mistakes, business failures. Again, write these down, get them out into the open, and allow yourself to bear the full weight of your actions. It doesn't matter whether if they weren't your fault, they're your responsibility now. The mental and physical price you're paying by holding on to them are only serving to destroy you and will tear apart anything you try to build in the future, unless you can truly accept ownership of them. Once you do that, then you can will a better life for yourself. For most of my 20s, I didn't mind living the lifestyle of a drunkard service employee making just above minimum wage as long as I had enough money for the bar and occasionally catching a movie or eating out. I defended my shitty lifestyle by telling myself I didn't really want anything better. While I was glad I had enough food to eat every day and a comfortable house outside of the projects where I grew up, the truth was that I wanted more out of life. I wanted to be more than some guy whose greatest achievement in life was not living in the ghetto. A lot of people are afraid to want more out of their lives because they worry they'll be let down. You can't fall into this trap. The truth is, our lives can only become as great as we believe they can. If you think you're always destined for failure to wind up in the same mess time and time again, then that's what's going to happen. If you genuinely believe you're destined for success and that you have an abundant life where you wake up happy and energetic every day, you will. Once you decide to be better, nothing can stop you. It may take longer than you want, but once you commit to improving a lot your life, the result is a foregone conclusion. You will get your life together. You have to figure out the kind of lifestyle you really want and what you need to do to get there. How much money do you want to make? What kind of hobbies do you do? How many friends do you have? What do you do when you wake up in the morning? Get specific. You don't need to create a vision of yourself that is fantastical, but you do need to create a strong vision that is better than the circumstance you're in right now. That's so vivid that you can actually kind of touch it. But before you can do that, you'll have to seek out tough love. This is another hard part. People say they want to change things. What they really mean is they want things to change. No one wants to change themselves. They just want things to be different without effort. But life doesn't work this way. Your habits and mindsets have to change before your environment follows suit. If you want to get your life together, you must prove to yourself that you really want to change. The first test of your commitment is obtaining perspective from an outside party. Self-awareness is important, but introspection will only get you halfway. Others are much better at judging us truthfully, and in self-improvement, the truth is really what will set you free. It's a bitter but necessary pill to swallow. Once you've admitted to yourself you have a problem, now you can prove that you're serious about fixing it. Ask your close friends and your most bitter enemies to give you their opinion of your life and what you should do to fix it. Now, some of these people have already said it to your face. Others have kept their mouths shut for various reasons. Others you've ignored and don't want to talk to. But you need to invite them all to criticize you. There's some grain of truth in anything they say, even if most of it is nonsense. I'm talking about your enemies here. You may even have to give extra reassurance to your friends, though, that you can handle their honesty. And you'll have to handle their honesty even if you don't think you can. If you want to change for the better, it is crucial that you get their feedback. Once you have the tools for your inner game on point, though, then you can work on how you present yourself to the world. And this means cleaning up your appearance. Regardless of what's wrong in your life, you must always look like you give a damn about it. I've always said that if I were ever homeless, I'd just keep myself clean by washing up in the bathroom someplace and eating by going to hotel breakfast buffets. As long as you look like you belong, no one ever really checks those anyway. Hell, I actually used a trick like this to help me steal food to survive when I was broken in my early 20s. You got to get in shape. You got to fix your personal hygiene and grooming and dress well. And there are two important reasons why this is so important for transforming your life. Firstly, taking care of your appearance requires discipline. Dressing well, eating healthy, and working out are habits of discipline. For many people, improving their personal appearance is the first act of self-discipline they've ever performed, and it will make a huge difference. Secondly, it's a quick win. Compared to the other changes you'll have to make, your efforts will be visible very soon. You will immediately get positive feedback from your surroundings in terms of compliments and positive attention. Improving your grooming and fashion is instant. The changes in your weight and body shape will be evident within a few weeks. The quick wins keep you going as a self-sustaining source of motivation. You will witness firsthand that it's possible to change something about your own reality. You have the power to change your emotional state almost overnight, and all it takes is a few small actions. You ain't got to buy brand name or designer clothes. Something from Walmart or Target will look fine on you as long as you take the important step of getting in shape. Everything looks good on you when you have low body fat and high muscle. So part of taking care of your appearance is hitting the gym. If your hair isn't the way you want, or you've been putting off getting it cut, book an appointment or get your ass to the barber and get that sorted. If you're not empowered by the clothes you wear every day, how can you change that? Do you simply need to organize your closet, or do you need to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe? Figure it out and get it fixed. And there ain't nothing wrong with the Goodwill. Lastly, what do you do about your body? Do you have the ideal physique you want? If not, what can you do to change that? Chances are you already know the answer, but if you're serious about getting your life back together, you need to get serious about your health and fitness and do the damn thing. You also need to eliminate the negatives in your life. Because before you can fill a bucket with water, you need to fix the holes. Your bad habits, faulty mindset, and degenerate environment, that's what's holding you back. If you don't change these, you will never get ahead. No matter what you do or how much progress you appear to make, you'll always fail when one of these things catches up to you. This is the same reason that many lottery winners go broke. The lump sum gets them ahead, but they still have the same habits, mindset, and they never really change their environment. If you want to fix your life, you'll need to correct deficiencies in these areas. If you aren't sure where your holes are, use the feedback you get from friends coupled with the ideal life you've imagined for yourself. It's like we learn in chess. One bad move can undo the work of the 40 good ones you use to set your position up, but it's very hard to beat someone who doesn't make great moves but never makes mistakes either. While I don't believe you can move away from your problems, many of your bad habits are triggered by the people and places you spend the most time around. There is no easy life hack to avoid this. You just have to distance yourself from the environment and the people that reinforce the worst in you. Carry out an audit of your current environment, relationships, and bad habits. Is there anything about where you are right now that's holding you back? You need to take an objective view of your life right now. Write down everything you can think of and start cutting away at anything that's bringing you down. Your environment could be the city you live in, or it could be your constantly messy bedroom. I know my mental state is noticeably worse if I leave dirty plates out, clothes on the floor, and I don't keep my place looking clean and tidy. Your relationships might be your family or loved ones, or it could be your colleagues. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so it's important to spend time with the right people. Finally, think about the habits you carry out every single day. When you wake up in the morning, do you automatically do some exercise and eat a healthy breakfast? Or do you get on your phone and scroll through social media? The habits we do every single day shape our lives, and replacing the bad with good is a crucial step for taking your life back. So who is it you're becoming? And is that person at least able to make enough money to live? If not, then you need to work on that as well. At the end of the workday, I was exhausted, frustrated, and didn't feel like going to boxing practice. I felt trapped, and this sapped my motivation and everything. This feeling of hopelessness is what ultimately drove me to enlist in the military and start developing skills to make myself more valuable. If boxing didn't work out, I didn't want to be stuck working some customer service rep job for the rest of my life. If you want to improve your life, you need to develop a skill. It doesn't have to be fancy, elaborate, or rare. It could entail working on a side business or learning a trade. The specifics don't matter so long as you're learning something people will pay money for. Not only will you earn more cash, but you'll also boost your self-esteem. You'll also develop the unique confidence that comes from knowing you will always be able to put food on the table and pay your bills. Another big thing you have to start is learning from your past. One of the things that sets us apart from other animals is that not only can we learn from our own past, we can also learn from others' past. You're equipped with the most sophisticated learning machine in the world, your brain, and yet you keep doing the same thing while expecting a different result each time. You have to start learning from your mistakes. No one gets it right the first time, and no one expects you to get it completely right the second or third time either. However, there should be an iteration of improvement each time from the previous effort. Part of learning is self-reflection and self-analysis. You must be able to break down and dispassionately explain to yourself where you went wrong and what mistakes you made. This means you can't be attached to the outcome. You just have to be interested in getting better. Additionally, you need to get that outside input, that tough love. This is why I stressed the importance of it earlier in this video. Other people will have valuable insight and advice for you, and you need to be able and willing to absorb it. Make sure you treat all things in your life this way. You should be constantly learning from your past, both from your successes and failures. If you make the same mistakes twice, you didn't learn your lesson the first time. Figure out where you keep making those same mistakes and guess what? Write them down. Perhaps it's always the same bad habits that cause the snowball effect, or maybe you keep doing things you know you shouldn't, like video games or drinking booze. Now, do any of these things have a common thread? Usually, our biggest mistakes come from a series of small mistakes we make every day. They just pile up over time until eventually the dam bursts and you end up reading another article or watching another video on how to get your life together and transform it. Once you know what they are, you can make sure you don't let yourself fall down the rabbit hole of bad mistakes in the future. Now you're ready to really go after what you want, and that means setting goals. Aiming to accomplish something forces you to confront whatever is holding you back. Trying to achieve a specific goal also galvanizes your actions and mindset toward a particular task. And this is important for two reasons. One, it forces you to be disciplined. You'll have to consider how each thing you do or don't do will help you get closer to your goal. The mere act of pursuing a clear goal forces you to be proactive rather than reactive. And two, it replaces the bad habits that ruins your life. By taking deliberate constructive action, you make it difficult to behave self-destructively. Every time you work out, save money, or hone your skills, you're spending time which would otherwise have been wasted on eating junk food, blowing your money on bullshit, or drinking the night away. More lives have been ruined by misplaced opportunity cost than by pure stupidity alone. Even if you don't reach your goal, merely pursuing one keeps you from doing shit that will ruin your life. By now, you should have a pretty good idea of where you want to be in your life and what you want to be doing and how you need to get there. Now it's time to put it all together. Spend some time setting goals for your finances, health, relationships, and skills. Make them as specific as you can and work on them for 6 months, 12 months, or a 3-year timeline. You need to make it easy to follow so that you know exactly what to do every single day. And most importantly, you need to be a little afraid. Now, many of us live in fear of what will happen if we fail in our efforts. We fear others will ridicule us. We fear that we'll feel silly. We fear that we'll end up even worse than our current position, and this can be paralyzing to our monkey brains. Maintaining the status quo feels safer, more predictable. But we ignore something important. If you don't change, the best case scenario is that you'll grow old and die as the exact same person you are today. The more likely scenario is that your bad habits will continue to escalate, making your life worse as time marches on. If you're doing the same things at 33 than you were at 23, you're a failure. Do you want to suddenly wake up when you're 60 or 70 only to discover that you wasted your life away? To me, that's a terrifying prospect. Fear is a far more powerful motivator than the desire for change. Each day that passes without change leads you further away from the good life. Each day your bad habits gain more momentum, making them more difficult to change. The sooner you get started on the hard work of fixing your life, the easier it will be. So start putting in the work today. Take control of your life once and for all. These are the steps required to fix your life, whether you're in deep shit or you're just generally dissatisfied with your position. They're the steps I took to take me from an alcoholic loser with no prospects to a truly productive member of society with a fulfilling life. You have the roadmap now. Will you take action or will you choose to remain a loser? It's up to you. If you want to see what happens if you don't take the right actions to fix your life, watch this video right here.